Yeah, hello everyone. So in this video, we'll learn two important questions in Azure interview, Azure Data Engineer interview. So if you are preparing for Azure Data Engineer, so these are the commonly asked interview questions. So we'll try to understand in simple word what exactly it is. So the question is like, what are the integration runtime in ADF, and what exactly the integration runtime, and what are the different type are there, and also uh, how do you migrate the on-premise to the cloud using ADF. So let's understand one by one. So first of all, we'll try to understand what is integration runtime. So integration runtime is basically a compute infrastructure. Okay, so it is a compute infrastructure. Try to understand one to one, this will be very clear. So it's basically compute infrastructure. So what does this compute infrastructure? So this compute infrastructure basically you can say is a engine. Okay, it's basically a engine, and this compute infrastructure is basically useful or execute data integration within ADF. So we have the ADF. Okay, so in this ADF, so in this ADF data integration, if we need to done, I mean flowing of data from one place to other through this ADF, then we need IR, okay, which is integration runtime. So it provide this IR basically provide the connectivity and also data movement capability from different sources to different destination with different environment. What does that means? So till now we understood that what is integration runtime. Integration runtime is basically a engine, or we can say compute infrastructure, and this is being useful for data integration in the ADF. In the ADF we want to move from one place to other place, then we need the integration runtime. So this is the main thing of integration runtime. So Azure provide, there are two different type of integration runtime. One is Azure integration runtime, which is also called auto resolve integration runtime. The second one is self-hosted integration. Self-hosted IR. And also we have third one is called uh, Azure SSIS integration. SSIS. So currently we have three different type of integration runtime. Let's understand one by one. So the first one is Azure integration runtime. So Azure integration runtime is nothing but when we want to move data. So basically Azure integration runtime is fully managed and automatically scalable by the Azure Data Factory. That means it is being used to transform data from one Azure cloud, Azure source to the Azure destination. That means data movement within the cloud. So if I say this is Azure and this is the one of the source, and we have another, this is a sink, and if we want to move the data from one source to destination, and this should be inside the Azure, then we'll be using Azure integration runtime, or we can say auto resolve integration runtime. So in the resource source we can have any source like blob storage, ADLS Gen 2, Azure SQL, many. In the same way here also we can have Azure SQL, ADLS Gen 2, or blob storage. I mean to say, if we are our concern is to moving from one cloud storage to the within the cloud storage, we want to do movement, then we'll be using Azure IR, which is nothing but auto reserve integration runtime. And let's suppose if we want to move the data from on premise to this is the source which is on premise in my VM in my local, and I want to move this one into Azure, then this time we'll be using, correct, we'll be using self-hosted integration runtime. Here will come the self-hosted integration runtime, which is the second one, self-hosted integration runtime. So here in the while doing the self-hosted integration runtime, we need to install the self-hosted integration runtime in our on-premise. Okay, this is on-premise, and when you install this, and basically we'll create over here, here we'll be creating the self-hosted integration runtime, uh, self-hosted integration runtime. So when you create, it will provide, it will give the option to install that particular IR in the local over here. So when you install this, there will be a connection key will be there, so that key we need to provide while installation. Once that key will be provided, this will get connected. Once that got connected, in order to connect with the server of database, we will need to provide over here, in the self-hosted integration runtime server, what database will be connecting, what is the username, what is the password. This all will provide, so that we will be able to connect. Once we are able to connect with on-premise DB, then we are good to sync in some place or do some transformation or anything. So this is used for the self-hosted integration runtime. So as I said, self-hosted integration runtime is installed on a machine in the on-premise network or a virtual machine in the virtual network. It allows data movement between on-premise data store and a cloud data store securely. For example, with the use cases like on-premise data need to sync to the Azure Data Lake storage into, will be using self-hosted integration runtime. And the last is Azure SSIS integration runtime. So this is basically explicitly used for running SQL Server integration services, which is nothing but SSIS package in the Azure Data Factory. That means if organization is looking for, shift, lift and shift the entire SSIS workflow to the Azure, then they will be using Azure SSIS integration runtime. First of all, what is SSIS package? So SSIS package is nothing but a kind of script, you can say, which will be moving from one source to one database to other database, doing some transformation, aggregation, or some stuff like that. And that entire stuff, if you want to move into the cloud, then we'll be using Azure SSIS IR. So this is more about what are the integration runtime. So let's move to how the question. The first question is, second question is like, how do you migrate on-premise to the cloud using ADF? As I said, this on-premise to cloud, if you want to do, then again we need the self-hosted integration runtime. So to do the self-hosted integration runtime, 2-3 things we need to do set up. Like let's suppose we have the let me get my, let's suppose we have our uh, database, and SQL connection will be there. So we obviously will have the server name in the database engine, and also will have a user and password. So once we are good with that, we need the, while creating self-hosted integration runtime in the Azure, when you create that, it will ask to create and install the self-hosted integration runtime in our VM. So when you install that, there will be connection key in the self-hosted integration runtime, that will copy and paste in the installation time. Basically while install, it will ask for, as a pop-up, it will ask and check what is the connection string, or you can say connection key, that will be providing from the here. So once you connect, that got connected, and we need to provide like what is the server, what is the database, what is the user and password. So once that get connected, we in the database, or the any copy activity we can do in the copy activity, from the source, basically it got connected, right? Basically our source will be the on premise. I mean it's nothing but SQL servers. So if by doing self-host integration runtime it got connected, that means uh, we can preview also. Once we are good with preview, like data is coming, then further we can proceed directly. If we want to sync, we can do. If you want to do transformation, that also we can do. So basically this is how the migration from on-premise to the cloud happen. Also this is the different type of integration runtime we use in the real time. So if you want to know more about how once the pipeline is done, how to trigger that and how many way we trigger the pipeline, so if you need this all kind of information, I'll be uploading that in the next video. So please do subscribe and comment out how do you like the video and what are the improvement you want, or what are the topic you want me to cover on that. If you watch till now, thank you so much. You can do subscribe on my channel. Thank you.